All right, so let's talk about fake news. I think this is a good topic because if you guys watched the live stream over the weekend, I had some funds. I had some funds. I had some theories that came up, and it was pretty comical, in my opinion. And some people are like, "Dude, you're a nut job," and I agree, I am a nut job. And some people even said that it's fake. Honestly, it's fake news. Is it moronic to believe in? When we heard, I remember the first time I heard Donald Trump say fake news, I was like, what is this guy saying? Fake news. But then, that's why I want to talk about this. I want to talk about sensationalism. I want to talk about Google and advertising and revenue because honestly, this is a channel about money, right? We talk about the stock market. We talk about stocks. Google's publicly traded. Facebook's publicly traded. And, a lot of this online revenue that's generated these news sites, right? Amazon, Washington Post, I don't know. But essentially, there's a lot going on to this. So this is where I want to kind of explain, and especially this week, we've saw a lot of this. I guess, what do we call it? Do we call it fake news? And that's why I guess saying fake news is simply a short way to explain, it's a colloquial to describe really what's going on. So that's what I'm going to explain here. Now, I guess before I get into that, if you are new, hello, you can watch the videos and see the other stuff, but drop a like if you see this is helpful, but comment. I want you guys to interact with me on this and, let me know what your take is on this because I think it's a very big split with how people view this topic. Fake news. Is it fake? Is it real? Is it what is this whole thing? So really what I'm boiling all of this down to is sensationalism. That is, so here's a Wikipedia and this is only as reliable, and that's the thing that's scary is that they've even done research stuff on this, and this is what I'm saying. This is the whole thing with fake news and the internet nowadays is just how information is disseminated, right? I'm giving you guys this information. Even then, whatever I say on this YouTube channel, depending on how people interpret it, it's different levels of authority, right? You're gonna be like, well, this guy doesn't even show his face. How much weight are you gonna give to what I say versus now Wikipedia.com? So but people edit this. There's contributors, and they've done, they've had people edit fake information that supported the right side on Wikipedia, and they wouldn't let it change to the left. Now, I'm not supporting any side here, left or right with that, but essentially, that was just a little side note here, but sensationalism, and this is where I'm saying where it comes into play with fake news and everything we're seeing nowadays, but it's this type of editorial bias in mass media in which events and topics in news stories and pieces are overhyped to present biased impressions on events, which may cause a manipulation to the truth of a story. Sensationalism may have reporting about generally insignificant matters and events that do not influence overall society, and biased presentations of newsworthy topics in a trivial or tabloid manner contrary to the standards of professional journalism. So again, some tactics include deliberately obtuse, appealing to emotions, being controversial, intentionally omitting facts and information, being loud and self-centered, and acting to obtain information. Now, that kind of sounds like Trump, but no, it sounds like both sides here. And the thing is, I think you get this mesh is out. That's what we're seeing a lot. There's two pieces going on. One, there's people literally putting out fake information and rumors, like what we saw last week with Lighthizer and some of the comments. That was overall, we don't know. Well, again, that's like, where does that come from? But it's like, now why are people doing this? And this is where I want to get into ads. I have here, I want you guys to Google it, click-through rate in fake news. We're going to talk about what a click-through rate is, and this is with Google and advertising and why you see this, because really why are these people doing this? Why would anybody have this is what I'm trying to say. Why would anybody have an incentive to make up something fake nowadays on the internet as it pertains to fake news? Well, there's a monetary gain for it, and you could also get influence, because now by getting information across in this way, it's pretty you could get information across, but now the people are gonna click on it. It's clickbait. That's all it is at the end of the day. So when you look at like, why would anybody want to make up some information on this? Now, even nowadays with our context, we trade stocks. It could move the stock market. Now that is when you run into the SEC, but now straight up off of Google, people are putting out fake news articles and information where, again, if they just overhype it, are controversial, and they, even by omitting facts and stuff, they could get more interaction with it. They're going to generate more clicks, and they're going to generate more money. It's simple as that. So if you guys aren't familiar with what a click-through rate is, now this is what I'm saying. It's CTR. Click-through rate is the percentage of if somebody sees a link and how they click it. So all of these here, when I put click-through rate fake news, or if we put, Trump, right? Most of these is going to be based on my cookies and what I search, but for the most part, a lot of the first links you see here, they have high click-through rates, meaning every time they've been shown in front of somebody, like here, Trump ends shutdown with nothing to show for damage wrought. Trump team lying. Look at again, every single one of these articles. They're all MSN. Surprisingly, it's all MSNBC. MSNBC or CNBC, but it's stuff that's going to make you click. If it lacked appeal to emotions, if it wasn't controversial, if it wasn't wrong, that's the thing. If you simply make a headline that's wrong, people will click it to say that it's wrong. And again, the click-through rate would be low, but essentially if you have a high click-through rate, that means every time people see it, they click on it. So if 100 people see it and 10 people click on it, you have a 10% click-through rate, which is amazing, right? The higher your click-through rate, the more Google is going to show it to you, or show it to other people. The more it gets shown to other people, then what's going to happen? They're going to make more money. And now, look though, this has been done before, and really, the more outrageous, the better how clickbait ads make money for fake news sites. So you could see these articles that people have done it. Here's this one. This one's great. The Christian Times newspaper. This kid did it. This is the New York Times. He did this last year. This kid made about $1,000 an hour creating a fake story about Hillary Clinton and ads. He literally said, not ads, with voting. He said Hillary Clinton had this. He created this site called Christian News, whatever. And it's just literally, this guy was a frat boy who liked politics, but he was in a frat and played football. And the guy just made up a totally bogus story, but it got in viewership, because that's the thing. Now, here's another article. They've even talked about this. Again, this is why I'm saying what I'm talking about. It's not as if I'm the first one to discuss this. This is a big thing, and I just want to make sure you guys are aware of it, so you guys are, I guess, to understand where I'm coming from, and so you guys could learn. I want you guys, this is going to help you learn to digest information, but the way I look at this stuff is like, well, yeah, why do you think I am going to, where does a guy like myself come up with this idea of fake news? Well, I'm a capitalist and pure economist at heart. I understand what people will do for money. You're telling me college kids could go make 20 fucking grand a day lying about Donald Trump, a guy who, is orange skin, and you know what I'm saying? Like, people will make up whatever, especially now in a heightened environment where everybody wants to talk on the internet, everybody has something to say, this and that, it kind of makes sense, but they go over and they talk about it, how, and again, this is how people make money, and people make sites like this. Like, if you guys ever click on articles and see 10 ways to do this, 10 ways, it's the more sensationalist it is, the more fake news it is, in a sense. It doesn't necessarily mean it's fake, but really what I'm trying to say here is that some news, there's a lot of rumor, and what people do is they'll take rumor, or they'll take what the truth is, or they'll make something completely not on the truth. But understand, it's the internet nowadays. There's no vetting. That's it. It's not like anybody could post anything on the internet nowadays. It could get disseminated. Literally, there's fake ads. Even people use fake celebrity stuff. It's just the internet. People will get away with whatever they can. You guys listen to, the motivational memes that you guys really love on Instagram. It's made by kids in India who get paid $1 an hour. It's like, it's the internet. People could put and disseminate information however they please. So that is the problem now, is that we live in a day and age where there's so much information. It's like, how do you know what information is real? How do you know who's doing it for profit? And again, even if they are honest, how does profit motivate it? You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue here. So it's on you guys to do that. But what I'm saying is, not everything's fake news, but I would not take everything as the truth. Just be aware and be smart. But where is it? The Google thing, and again, they even talk about, look at the average weekly impressions, and you could see the type, look at these, the Drudge Report, Daily Mail. These are crazy sites. These are going to have crazy headlines versus not. And they even said the right side versus left side makes about 70% of the revenue, I believe. Yeah, right-wing content publishers, which are often responsible for misleading content, generate an estimated 68% of Google's ad revenue, or 48 million. So you get to see, they're making $19 million off of these ads. Even Drudge Report, $4 million. So it's kind of crazy to think. I mean, that's a 50-cent CPC. Get out of here. They're probably doing a lot less. So Google's making money. Everyone's making money. And it's pretty interesting to think about. So that's what I would leave you with. Hopefully you guys get that. What is your take on fake news? Have you guys thought about this? Does anybody agree? Anybody have a background in advertising? Is there points I missed? I would love to talk about this. This is kind of a realm into a different direction, but related to the markets as well as other economies. And, well, guess what? Google and Facebook and how those relate as stocks. So we're going to look at those. But I'll leave it at that. Give me your guys' feedback and thoughts. Comment below. Show me love. I love you. Get ready for the stream on Monday. All right. Goodbye. Peace out. Check out the stock course. Link in the bio. Yeah.